$9. That's $200 cheaper than the Galaxy S20. But then the big question becomes, is it actually worth it? Like, save $200 or spend $200 more on the brand new lineup from Samsung. Now, in terms of form factor, these phones are pretty much on par, like 168 grams for the Note 10 compared to 163 with the Galaxy S20. Width, length are pretty much exactly the same. The only major difference is the way these phones feel. This is boxy, so it feels a bit more chiseled, whereas the Galaxy S20 has rounded edges, contouring to your hand a lot more naturally. Now, the benefit of the Note 10 is the bigger display, like 6.3 inches compared to 6.2. But with the Galaxy S20, you have the ability to use it in QHD, because this is stuck on Full HD, or drop it down to Full HD and use 120 Hz. Now, for the enthusiasts, this might be very important, but for the regular consumer, I promise you, you're not gonna really care about having 120 Hz. Then there comes the question of battery life, because the Note 10 only has a 3500 milliamp battery, and that's 500 milliamps smaller than the Galaxy S20. But I actually think battery life is going to be on par, because think about it. If you run the S20 at QHD, it's going to suck battery faster than if it was at Full HD. If you drop it down to Full HD, you might use it at 120 Hz, which in theory should make battery life just as equal to the Note 10. The only time battery will be much better with the Galaxy S20 is if you use it at Full HD and don't enable 120 Hz. However, though, you do get faster wireless charging and faster charging in general with the brand new Galaxy S20. This one happens to be a bit slower, but at the end of the day, it's still fast enough to get your phone going again. Performance is one area that the normal user will not see a difference between both of these devices, because let's face it, most of these people are just checking their email, browsing the net, playing the odd Candy Crush game, and just doing general everyday stuff. And the Snapdragon 855 with the 8 GB of RAM and the Galaxy Note 10 is more than capable. It will be for the next 2 years. However, the Galaxy S20 does have the newer 865, and in some circumstances, like very specific applications or even gaming, you might see the advantage. Now, the one area which is kind of interesting is the base model of the Galaxy Note 10 comes with 256 GB of storage. This is 128 GB more than the Galaxy S20. However, you do get micro SD card expansion with the Galaxy S20 where you don't with the Note 10. Now, again, I don't think most people need more than 256 GB unless you're like some crazy lunatic who's carrying their entire vinyl collection on their smartphone. But for most people, this is more than adequate. Then there's the camera, and this is kind of interesting because the regular Galaxy S20 doesn't have the depth sensor or the true depth time of flight sensor for portrait mode, and neither does the Galaxy Note 10. Both of these cameras have 3 lenses, your wide, ultra wide, and of course your telephoto lens. Now granted, with the S20, you do have that bigger, larger megapixel count, which will help you zoom in up to 30 times. But this is something you're gonna do a few times. Maybe the odd time you need to see a sign across the street, you might use it. But overall, it's something that's never going to get used. Yes, there are other improvements like 4K 60 on the front-facing camera, which might be important to the enthusiast, quiet Note 10 Plus, but to most people, they're probably never gonna even notice it, or more importantly, never even use it. And finally, the elephant in the room is the Galaxy S Pen. This is why you buy a Note, because you want to write, sketch, and draw on the screen. This is a big deal for creatives who want to be able to do stuff on their smartphone. Even if you're someone who's like a real estate agent, just the ability to like take out this pen, have your client sign a document, or even yourself is such a huge convenience. So one more thing before I wrap this up.